In just his third NBA season, Brandon Roy was averaging nearly 23 points per game, had made the All-NBA second team, and finished ninth in MVP voting. 4 years later, he was completely out of the league. No career-ending injury, no scandal, just the gradual, painful collapse of his knees that robbed basketball fans of potentially one of the greatest shooting guards of his generation. This is the story of the meteoric rise, the devastating fall, and the unexpected second act that followed. Brandon Roy grew up in Seattle, where basketball wasn't just a game, but a potential pathway out of the inner city. For Roy, earning a basketball scholarship was his best shot at attending college. Unlike many prospects who focus solely on their athletic skills, Roy faced significant academic hurdles that threatened his dreams. Roy struggled with reading comprehension, making standardized tests like the SAT extremely difficult. He witnessed firsthand how academic barriers could derail athletic potential when his brother Ed, despite having Division I scholarship offers, couldn't continue his athletic career due to an undiagnosed learning disability. Would Roy follow the same path? Not if he could help it. While working mornings at a shipping container plant, Roy would return home each afternoon to study with a personal tutor. This extraordinary dedication showed the determination that would later define his approach to basketball. Friends would invite him out, but Roy stayed focused on his goals, understanding that short-term sacrifice would lead to long-term success. After conquering his academic challenges through sheer persistence, Roy's basketball journey continued at the University of Washington. His 4 years with the Huskies weren't just about developing his basketball skills, but also about growing as a person while earning his degree in American Ethnic Studies. After his junior year, Roy considered entering the NBA draft. However, when he learned his teammate Nate Robinson and incoming recruit Martell Webster planned to declare, Roy made a strategic decision to stay for his senior year. This decision proved brilliant, as it allowed him to showcase his leadership abilities and improve his draft position. During that final college season, Roy elevated his game dramatically, averaging 20.2 points per game, and leading the Huskies to an impressive 26-7 record and a Sweet 16 appearance. His outstanding performance earned him Pac-10 Player of the Year honors and put him firmly on the NBA radar. The payoff came when Roy was selected 6th overall in the 2006 NBA draft by the Minnesota Timberwolves. But draft night brought another twist. He was immediately traded to the Portland Trail Blazers, setting the stage for what would become both a brilliant and heartbreaking professional career. The transition from college to the pros can be challenging for many players, but Roy adapted quickly. His NBA career began perfectly, playing his first professional game in his hometown of Seattle. Right from the start, Roy showed skill that would soon make him famous across the league. Despite missing 20 games early in his rookie season due to a heel injury, Roy's impact was undeniable. He averaged 16.8 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 4.0 assists while shooting with remarkable efficiency. These impressive numbers earned him the Rookie of the Year award, receiving nearly unanimous support with 127 out of 128 first-place votes. Success continued to follow Roy into his second season. His production increased across the board as he put up 19.1 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 5.8 assists per game. The league took notice, rewarding him with his first NBA All-Star selection. Beyond individual achievements, Roy elevated the entire Trailblazers team, leading them on a spectacular 13-game winning streak in December. What separated Roy from other talented players in the league? It wasn't just physical gifts, but his complete offensive game. Roy possessed smooth moves, excellent mid-range shooting, and an uncanny ability to create his own shot in clutch moments. The 2008-09 season showcased Roy at his absolute peak. He reached career highs across major statistical categories, averaging 22.6 points per game while shooting 48% from the field. This outstanding performance earned him his second All-Star appearance and 9th place in MVP voting. The league officially recognized his elite status by naming him to the All-NBA second team. How respected was Roy at this point? Even the great Kobe Bryant acknowledged Roy as the most difficult player to guard in the Western Conference, stating he had no weaknesses in his game. Basketball careers typically follow a predictable arc. Players enter their prime years around ages 27 to 30. For Roy, however, as his basketball skills were reaching their peak, his body began sending warning signals that something wasn't right. The 2009-10 season initially appeared to be another stellar year, as Roy maintained his high-level production with 21.5 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 4.7 assists per game. He secured his third consecutive All-Star selection and another All-NBA team honor. But beneath these impressive statistics, troubling signs were emerging. Roy started experiencing knee problems that forced him to miss games periodically. While the Trailblazers still depended heavily on him as their star player, the medical staff grew increasingly concerned about his long-term health. Though fans couldn't see it yet, these minor setbacks were just the beginning of a devastating decline. The full extent of Roy's physical deterioration became evident in the 2010-11 season. His playing time dropped dramatically to 27.9 minutes per game, with his production falling to 12.2 points per game. Even more alarming, he appeared in just 47 games and started only 23 of them as his knee problems became increasingly debilitating. The underlying issue proved far more serious than normal wear and tear. Roy lacked proper menisci in both knees, the crucial cartilage that cushions the knee joint and prevents bone-on-bone contact. This condition resulted in chronic pain and swelling that severely limited the explosiveness and movement that had made him so special. With each game, Roy was essentially sacrificing his future mobility for a chance to stay on the court. Sometimes life forces impossible choices on us. By the end of the 2010-11 season, Roy faced the most difficult decision of his career. Medical professionals delivered devastating news. Continuing to play professional basketball would cause permanent damage to his knees and potentially impact his ability to live a normal life after basketball. Roy wasn't just looking at the end of his career, but potentially a future with severe mobility limitations if he pushed his body any further. With this reality in mind, Roy announced his retirement from the NBA in December 2011. The timing couldn't have been more heartbreaking. Just 5 years after entering the league and at only 27 years old, the age when most NBA stars are reaching their prime. The basketball world reacted with shock and sadness. A player who had been an All-Star just 2 years earlier was suddenly gone from the game. Trailblazers fans mourned not just the loss of their franchise player, but the unfulfilled potential of what could have been. Before injuries intervened, Roy was clearly on a Hall of Fame trajectory, showing all the signs of becoming an all-time great. The competitive fire that drives elite athletes doesn't extinguish easily. After a year away from basketball and undergoing specialized medical treatments, Roy wasn't ready to accept that his career was over. He underwent platelet-rich plasma therapy, the same innovative procedure that had helped extend Kobe Bryant's career. With renewed hope and partially rejuvenated knees, Roy signed with the Minnesota Timberwolves for the 2012-13 season, attempting to write a new chapter in his basketball story. Unfortunately, optimism quickly gave way to harsh reality. Roy appeared in just 5 games for Minnesota, averaging only 5.8 points in 24.4 minutes before his knee problems returned with a vengeance. His once beautiful shooting stroke suffered dramatically, with his field goal percentage plummeting to 31.4%, a shadow of the efficient scorer he had been in Portland. After this final attempt, Roy accepted that his playing days were truly over, bringing his on-court NBA journey to a definitive close.